There is the lineup. Let's go through it for you, shall we? France are in lane 1, Japan in 2, Germany in 3, Trinidad and Tobago in 4, Great Britain in 5, Jamaica in 6, Canada are in lane 7, and the Brazilians on the outside in lane 8. Certainly don't discount the athletes from Trinidad and Tobago. Keston Bledman, now a sub-10 athlete, 9.86. His best. Mark Burns, 3 times a World Championship finalist, also an Olympic finalist. Rondell Cirillo, he's broken 10 seconds, albeit with a following wind at his back. And Richard Thompson, who finished 7th in the Olympic Games final, he still broke 10 seconds. What an outstanding sprint that was. So the French are right on the inside. Christophe Lemaitre is on anchor. Jimmy Vico will run the leg down the back straight. There is Keston Bledman for Trinidad and Tobago. They are in lane 4, immediately inside the Britons. So Bledman will be chasing Kilty, who in turn will have Nesta Carter in his sights. World record is Jamaica's Nesta Carter, running the first leg as Jamaica won the Olympic title in London.
On your mark.
On that occasion, it was Carter, Frater, Blake running the second bend, and a certain Usain Bolt on anchor. Certainly 3 parts of this Jamaican squad could so easily be a major games final quartet.
Stand up, please. Stand up. Monsieur.
Referee not happy, or the starter, I should say, not happy with something. Official actually going across to speak to Arnaud Remy. Frenchman in lane 1. Well, he's walking with a bit of a limp, isn't he?
The French athlete is injured, gentlemen. He's withdrawn.
Looks like a bit of a niggle to the hamstring, so we have lost the French quartet.
On your marks.
So we shall go without France. Japan in 2, Germany in 3, Trinidad and Tobago 4, Great Britain and Northern Ireland 5, Jamaica 6, Canada 7, Brazil in lane 8. The final of the men's 4x100 metres. Nesta Carter well into his running there in lane 6, being pursued by Richard Kilty. Bledman bearing down on the Briton. This is the second change. Jamaica are flying. Nickel Ashmead had to reach a little bit for that one, did Julian Fort. Jamaica going well, so too Great Britain on their inside. Trinidad and Tobago not entirely out of it. Blake has the baton and he's flying down the home straight. Being pursued here by Dwayne Chambers. Coming through Richard Thompson for Trinidad and Tobago. Blake takes over Jamaica, 37.77. So Johan Blake, after a season away, comes back. He takes a gold medal in this last event in the World Relays. And in all honesty, John, it really wasn't in terribly much doubt, was it, throughout that?
The battle was on for second place, wasn't it? Good start from Jamaica. Nesta Carter, then big Nickel Ashmead, Julian Fort. Maybe on paper the weakest link on leg 3, and then Blake carried it home. Dwayne Chambers, he'd been kept fresh and brought in for the final, but Richard Thompson, who ran brilliantly in the semi-final for Trinidad and Tobago, had too much speed, and he came through to take second place ahead of Great Britain, who in the end had to settle for third. Season's best for Trinidad and Tobago, 38.04. And the Jamaican time, 37.77, was a quick one.
Well, Richard Thompson is like a gazelle, isn't he? Just flies down the home straight.
He looks in fabulous form, doesn't he?
And he is physically, in many respects, the antithesis of Johan Blake. Johan Blake is raw power in much the same way as Nickel Ashmead is a huge man. There is Ashmead on the right, but Thompson long levers, but he makes the move and cross very quickly indeed, and he just breezed past Dwayne Chambers there, did the Trinidadian. Excellent second leg there from Nickel Ashmead. They had it wrapped up at halfway. All they had to do was execute the baton changes.
Harry Akins-Ariti, if you watch him, the big man for Great Britain, picking up from Kilty, he runs a good back straight here. Ashmead was away, but he was hanging on in there well. Change over here to Julian Fort. And by then, the lead was too much. You can see the bellow and the encouragement from Ashmead, and then the final changeover. And here comes the beast. Dwayne Chambers wasn't the smoothest, and look at, for Trinidad and Tobago, Richard Thompson powering down to take second place. No doubt about the winner, was there?
Something in hand as well, wasn't there, with Johan Blake?
Didn't look flat out.
He wasn't, certainly not. It's going to be quite a contest when we get Blake up against the likes of Bob later in the summer. So there is confirmation of the winning time, 37.77. Trinidad and Tobago, Richard Thompson flying past Dwayne Chambers, 38.04. And the British quartet, 38.19, which in fact was almost a quarter of a second slower than they ran in the heat earlier on in the day. And of course, conditions do change, but that is a bit of a drop-off. That's about 2 meters slower.